Okay.
Here we go.
So we're finally here, performing for you.
If you know the words, you can join in too.
Put your hands together if you wanna clap as we take you through this monkey rap.
He's the leader of the bunch. You know him well.
He's finally back to kick some tail.
His coconut gun can fire in spurts. If he shoots ya, it's gonna hurt. He's bigger, faster, and stronger too. He's the first member of the DK crew.
His arms got style, so listen up, dude.
She can shrink in size to suit her moves.
She's quick and nimble when she needs to be.
She can float through the air and climb up trees.
If you choose her, you'll not choose wrong.
With a skip and a hop,
She's one cool car.
he has no style. He has no grace.
This car has a funny face
He can handstand when he needs to.
and stretch his arms out just for you.
Inflate himself just like a balloon.
This crazy car just digs his tune. He's back again and about time too.
And this time, he's in the mood.
He can fly real high with his jetpack car.
With his pistols out,
Just one tongue call. He'll make you smile when he plays his tune.
but gremlins beware.
Cause he's out.
Finally, he's here for you. It's the last member of the DK crew.
This gong's so strong, it isn't funny. Can make a gremlin cry out.
Can pick up a boulder with relative ease. Makes crushing routes seem such a breeze. He may move slow, he can't jump high, but
This car's one hell of a guy. Come on, Cranky, take it to the fridge. Walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells, grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells, grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts.
Well, either you recognize that right away or you are very confused right now. But welcome to my new Let's Play project, Segway Plays Donkey Kong 64. This game, oh boy, so much to say about this game. This was not only my introduction to the Donkey Kong franchise, it was my introduction to Nintendo, and it was my introduction to console gaming as a whole. Prior to this game, I had only played PC games. I discovered this game in the fall of 2000. It would have been Thanksgiving, actually, the Thanksgiving weekend of 2001. My family was staying at this little sort of mini resort place that my aunt partially owns, and the what we called the big house, which is where the other owners lived, was the biggest house on the premises, had an N64 in the basement. And my siblings and I had no idea what this was, so we checked it out. And this was the game that was in there, and it was love at first play, basically. This game, like I said, so much to say. Now, when I introduced this channel, I said I was mostly going to be playing games that were story-centric, but there were a few exceptions. This is probably the biggest exception. This game is a collectathon's collectathon. It is probably the peak of the genre. but it's just so much fun and so nostalgic for me. Much like Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker leading my family to get a GameCube, this game many years before led us to get an N64, and we actually won on eBay one of the classic green special edition Donkey Kong N64s, and that is what I am still playing this on today. So, without further ado, let's begin. I've already cleared a slot for us. So, here we go.
I've been waiting a long time for this moment. Soon Donkey Kong and his pretty little island will be no more.
Yes, yes. My shoes not great. No problem. Everything's fine.
Gods! I want you to do everything in your power to keep Donkey Kong distracted. Steal that hoard of golden bananas he treasured so much, and take care of his pathetic friends. This time there can be no mistakes.
Oh, Your Excellency, we've already taken care of business.
I hope for your sake you're right this time.
No.
While you'll be busy looking for your precious golden bananas, flea-bitten friends, I'll be preparing my lizard-flavored surprise.
DK, come quickly, they're gone! They're all gone!
And with that, you have just heard about 95% of the actual voice acting in this game. They used it all in the intro. But yes, that is setting the scene of Donkey Kong 64. King K. Rool is back, and he's preparing to destroy Donkey Kong's island, it seems. I don't know if we've ever actually learned the source of the antagonism between these two. But our old friend Squawks the Parrot seems to be trying to tell us something. We'll examine the interior of this treehouse a little more in a bit.
What? The precious banana horde and all the other Kongs have vanished. I can't find them anywhere. DK, you better go and tell Cranky the bad news. What?
Yes, the text moves a little slow, and there is a way to speed it up, but I can't remember which button speeds it up and which one skips it right now, so I'm a little... Oh, whoops. A little gun shy. So, those of you who remember the N64 remember that it has one of the most bizarre controllers of all time, and I am going to have to get used to using it again because I have not played an N64 game in quite some time. I guess we can't do that yet. So I want to go back to the treehouse for just a second. Because I want to look around a little bit. You can slip on these banana peels, which I think is a nice touch. There's the boombox that was playing the infamous DK rap. Here's a picture of a lovely Lady Kong, who we will learn more about later. DK's little hammock. Picture of a dolphin on the wall. I do wonder if that was a reference to Project Dolphin, which became the GameCube. I don't know if that's specifically meant to be that. A little red ledge brick thing there that looks familiar to veterans of classic games. If you don't get it, don't worry, we'll talk about it later. Record players and bookshelves. This is honestly a pretty nice treehouse. I could hang in a place like this. Anyway, it seems the bananas and the other Kongs are all missing. And Squawk says we should go talk to Cranky. Well, according to this sign, Cranky's lab is this way. And that floating head and arrow would suggest that he is over here. Cranky's lab.
Well, if it isn't my lazy, good-for-nothing son. Lost your golden bananas again? And where might your flea-bitten friends be? You don't know, do you? I'd have thought you would be able to smell the work of a reptile by now. Luckily for you, old Cranky's batch of homemade potions will give you all the skills you need for your silly 3D quest. But you're not having any until you've completed
My training barrels! Now buzz off and come back when you've done them all! Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this dialogue thing figured out. Cranky Kong. Well, we'll talk about it in a moment. What did Cranky mean about training? Donkey all confused. I think that's the only time we hear Donkey Kong's third-person inner monologue as well. So, Cranky Kong. The history of Cranky Kong is complicated, and this game is probably the game that complicates things the most. So, if you're familiar with the history of Donkey Kong, you'll remember the original Donkey Kong arcade game. So that's the original Donkey Kong, and then there was a follow-up called Donkey Kong Jr. And then the lore has it that the Donkey Kong we all know and love now, the Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Land, Donkey Kong 64, etc. iteration, is the grandson of that original Donkey Kong and the son of Donkey Kong Jr. Now, in the past games, especially in the Donkey Kong Country games, Cranky Kong is always said to be Donkey Kong's grandfather, thus implying that he is the original Donkey Kong from the Donkey Kong arcade game. Yet for some reason, in this game, he's Donkey Kong's father. So I guess all Donkey Kongs grow up to be Cranky Kong? Maybe? But in any event, he's sent us to these training barrels to learn, I guess, the skills we need, as he put it. But I think we will tackle these training barrels in the next video. I'll see you soon.